Welcome back to Dinar Current, your go-to destination for the latest insights into global currency shifts, financial disruption, and the evolving balance of economic influence. In an era where traditional powerhouses no longer have a monopoly on financial direction and technology is rapidly transforming global markets, we are standing at the edge of a new economic era. The changes we're witnessing aren't being driven by force or policy control, but by innovation, resource strategy, and the rise of nations long overlooked. Today's coverage dives deeper than just news. It explores what may become one of the most transformative financial developments of this decade. Vietnam and Iraq, two nations once deemed economically peripheral, are now moving to the forefront of a financial awakening. These countries aren't just reacting to global shifts, they're helping to shape them. What's unfolding isn't merely about changing currency values, it's about a broader transformation, moving away from an outdated fiat structure and toward a decentralized, asset-supported, tech-enhanced financial future. So let's break it down. While Western analysts remain preoccupied with inflation trends and central bank policies, a quiet revolution has begun in Southeast Asia. Vietnam, historically classified as an emerging market, has made a bold move, rolling out a digital version of its currency, the dong. But this isn't your typical central bank digital currency, CBDC. Vietnam's digital dong is partly backed by gold and rich natural resources, such as rare earth elements, and it's built on blockchain for security, efficiency, and transparency. This innovation has sparked interest not only within Vietnam but also from international investors, regional financial centers, and governments seeking alternatives to the US dollar. Vietnam's move wasn't just about launching a new monetary tool, it was a strategic message, an economic breakthrough, and a technological milestone. In just weeks, transaction volumes using the digital dong soared as the global community began to take notice. This isn't just a financial upgrade, it's a new way out for nations historically boxed in by the global banking elite. Countries that once had limited choices due to sanctions or exclusion from the US-led SWIFT system now have another path. Vietnam's digital dong is already being used by multiple countries to facilitate trade outside the dollar sphere. It's not simply about defiance, it's about creating an alternative ecosystem, faster, leaner, and outside traditional control structures. If this momentum continues, and all signs suggest it will, the result could dramatically reshape global commerce, investing, and economic sovereignty. Vietnam has built more than a currency, it has created a path for nations looking to regain control of their financial future. And others are taking note. In the Middle East, Iraq is watching Vietnam's progress with growing interest. In Baghdad, top officials, economists, and thought leaders are discussing something transformative, the possibility of launching a digital version of the Iraqi dinar. But not just any digital currency, an asset-backed, blockchain-based, transparent system. Despite its troubled history, Iraq remains incredibly resource-rich, with top-tier oil reserves, significant gold deposits, and newly discovered lithium and rare minerals. At a young, increasingly tech-literate population, and Iraq is poised for a digital resurgence. If Iraq develops a digital dinar backed by oil, gas, and minerals, it could do more than revive the value of its currency, it could re-establish Iraq as a major player in global economics. This new dinar would challenge the dominance of fiat currencies, which are grounded more in trust than tangible value. And that trust, it's rapidly disappearing. For years, global faith in central banks, government stability, and fiat currencies has been waning. Iraq could step in as a beacon of financial innovation, showing other nations a real, scalable alternative. Such a currency could bypass outdated systems, enable seamless cross-border payments, and attract significant foreign capital. Done right, Iraq could become a financial hub in the Middle East, and a pioneer in the world of digital currency innovation. Why now? Because the current financial model, led by the dollar, is under immense pressure. Record debt levels, economic instability, rampant inflation, and waning public trust have eroded the system's foundations. Central banks are stuck, raise rates and risk collapse, or print more money and fuel inflation. In this fragile environment, emerging economies like Vietnam and Iraq have a rare opportunity. They can lead a financial transformation by creating real-world, asset-backed, digitally secure monetary systems. Imagine Iraq introducing a digital dinar used for oil and gold trade, built on smart contracts, and integrated into mobile platforms for instant, trustless transactions. This could allow Iraq to conduct international trade directly in its own currency, bypassing the dollar entirely. Picture Vietnam and Iraq forming a new alliance, trading using their own digital currencies, attracting others eager to move beyond the SWIFT system. BRICS countries, China, Russia, Brazil, India, and South Africa, could easily join, establishing a new, decentralized trade network free from geopolitical strings. This is more than a partnership, it's a potential turning point in monetary history. It's not fantasy, it's happening now. Critics argue the dollar is too ingrained to lose dominance. But history tells us monetary powers fade not with a crash, but with a quiet shift. Bond markets are volatile. Central banks are hedging with gold. Vietnam's digital dong is already being tested in energy trades. If Iraq follows, the domino effect could be swift and massive. The demand for such a currency would be genuine and sustained. That demand could drive up the value of the dinar, not through hype, but through market forces. The US has few tools left. Rate hikes hurt its own economy. Looser policy stokes inflation. Emerging countries now have the upper hand to lead a monetary transformation not seen since the fall of the gold standard. This revolution isn't just about governments, it's about real people. A farmer in Africa selling to a buyer in Asia using a digital dinar. A startup founder in Baghdad raising capital globally via blockchain. A world where financial inclusion is powered by assets and trust in code, not politics. This is what digital, asset-backed currencies promise: fairness, access, and control. Iraq is at a crossroads. With smart leadership and vision, it could transform its natural wealth and youth potential into a credible, valuable, global currency. The dinar could rise from being dismissed to becoming a powerful symbol of renewal and economic independence. For years, dinar holders have waited, often criticized, often doubted. But now the tides are shifting. The idea that once seemed like speculation is looking more like strategic foresight. If Iraq launches this digital, partially backed dinar, the rules of value and trade will be rewritten. This isn't about speculation anymore. It's about real demand, structural, strategic, and sustainable. Imagine a dinar used in international contracts, held in foreign reserves, and sought after by nations eager to escape dollar dependency. That would drive real value, backed not by rumor, but by economic fundamentals. You're not just holding currency. You're holding possibility. And the world is starting to notice. Revolutions don't always start with chaos. Sometimes, they begin quietly, with innovation, courage, and belief. Vietnam moved first, not by challenging the old system directly, but by building something better. Iraq is preparing to follow. And if they do, they won't stand alone. The BRICS alliance is actively working on new financial systems, gold-backed initiatives, and sovereign alternatives. They're not asking for permission, they're building what comes next. Iraq has the chance to rise, not just economically, but symbolically, as a nation reclaiming its destiny. At Dinar Current, we don't just report events, we connect them. We uncover the trends long before they hit the headlines. What we're seeing is not just a currency story. It's a vision for the future of money, decentralized, secure, and backed by real value. If this message resonates, don't keep it to yourself. Share it, spread awareness. The world is changing, and it's changing fast. Holding dinar today isn't just about waiting. It's about understanding the shift and positioning yourself for what's next. Because in this new world, the biggest revolutions may come from the smallest currencies, when paired with purpose, timing, and vision. The story is still being written. But you're already part of it.